Hey, Linda. How are you?
Hey, Mom. Yeah, doing okay. What's up?
Must have been at least 1 month since we last talked.
Seriously? Has it been that long? Sorry I haven't been able to contact you. I've been pretty busy. Busier than I thought, actually. And the time difference can get a bit confusing.
Yeah, well, I've been pretty busy too. Your father will finish up his business assignment here in Australia in about a month and will finally be home again. I have all this stuff in the house accumulated after living here for the past 5 years. Cleaning that up is really taking up time.
Better than having nothing to do, I suppose.
So, what are you up to today? You have anything planned?
Dan's parents are stopping by today, so I have to get the room cleaned up and do a little shopping for dinner tonight.
Seriously? Are they coming over again? Didn't they just visit last week?
Did I mention that to you?
Oh no. I have a friend that lives nearby, and she mentioned that she saw them visiting. I know. Seems kind of nosy.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Linda. I really don't want to criticize Dan's folks, but don't you think they visit a little too often? Doesn't seem normal.
You think? Doesn't really bother me.
Are you okay? I mean, you're not being pressured or anything.
No, nothing like that. It's just that they want to see their grandkids soon. So they tend to be a little overindulgent.
I see. Are you sure you're okay? You're not tired, are you? You always say they are very nice, but I hear they tend to be strict sometimes.
Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm fine. Besides, Dan's here to protect me. He's a sweetie. His parents are strict at times, but I think it's only because they're concerned about my well-being. That's all. I actually should be grateful to them.
If you say so, Linda. But just keep this in mind. I'm always here to help you. Don't forget that. Call me anytime you want.
Like I said, Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry. I better get going. I'm pretty busy today. I'll contact you later on. See ya, Mom.
All right. Just don't overexert yourself.
Dan, are you there? Answer me.
What do you want, Linda? I'm busy.
Where the hell are you?
I'm at the airport. Where do you think?
Does that mean that note you left on the kitchen table? Is that true? Are you really going off to Hawaii with your folks?
Yeah, that's why I left the note. Are you daft?
Are you really going to Hawaii?
What do you think? Take care of the place while we're gone, would you?
Is it just the three of you?
Yeah, me, Mom, and Dad, the whole family. Who else did you have in mind?
I thought I was a member of the family, to be honest.
You? No way. You have to stay home. We need someone to provide for us, right?
What are you saying, Dan? Aren't we family? We're married, aren't we?
Yeah, we're married, but not related by blood, so I wouldn't put you in the same category as family. Mom and Dad say they feel the same way. By democratic standards, that means it's 3-1 vote. In favor of you not being a member of the family.
How could you even say that, Dan? You act like I'm just some item.
I really don't have time for this, Linda. They just announced that they are boarding. Better get on. Hawaii, here we come! See you when we see you. As for you, just work and bring home the bread and butter.
Dan, wait, don't go.
Hey, Linda, you there? I was just looking through Dan's Insta page. Are you guys on holiday in Hawaii or something?
You saw that?
Yeah, some pictures of him and his parents at the airport announcing that they're on their way to Hawaii on holiday.
Yeah, right. I wasn't invited though. I have to stay home and take care of the house. Oh well. Besides, I don't have time. I have to bring home the bacon, so to speak.
Excuse me? Did I just hear you right, Linda? Are you seriously saying that only Dan and his parents went to Hawaii? How could Dan leave his wife at home and go off on a Hawaiian holiday? That makes no sense. Dan's a regular office worker, not some hotshot businessman, right? I mean, he can go on a Hawaiian vacation, so he must not be doing so bad.
Yeah, well, you know. What can I say? It's a wife's job to make her husband happy, right?
Linda, I never complained about who you wanted to marry. As long as you were happy, I was fine with it. I believe in you. But if you think that maybe you made a mistake, that you're maybe not as happy as you thought, it may be a good idea to change directions before it's too late. Or even seek the advice of your parents. There's nothing shameful in that. Just so you know, there is one thing I'm certain of. I didn't send you off to get married so that you would be unhappy.
Mom, I wanted to.
I know. Just let it out. Talk to me, Linda.
He's not working at all.
Pardon me?
Dan, he's unemployed at the moment. He quit his job 3 months ago. He takes on various part-time stuff every now and then, but he uses that money for his own pleasure.
Wait, Linda, back it up a bit, would you? You're saying after he quit his job, he hasn't given you a dime?
Yes, that's right. His parents are on Social Security, and the amount they receive just does not cover everything, so he said we shouldn't rely on them for any support. That's why I have to work. I have to support Dan and his parents.
And who's paying for the Hawaii vacation? Dan's out of a job. Shouldn't he be working on trying to find a new job and not be vacationing? He's got his priorities all mixed up if you ask me. As a matter of fact, he should be cutting back on spending.
The money for that vacation? He used the money I made this month without my permission.
Are you telling me that Dan and his parents are on vacation in Hawaii using your hard-earned money?
Yeah, that's right. I was going to use that money to pay off some debts, but he dug through my belongings and found this month's pay. I had just returned from the bank. He took every penny. I need money to eat, so I took on another part-time job. They pay on the spot, so...
You do realize that this is just simply nonsensical.
Yeah, I guess.
Can I ask you something, Linda? I know you had a substantial amount saved up while you were single. You haven't used any of that, have you?
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Dan got a hold of my cash card and somehow figured out the password. He used my savings to buy his parents expensive gifts and took them to fancy restaurants. He also bought his mistress an expensive brand handbag.
Did you just say his mistress?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he took her to his trip to Hawaii.
And Dan's parents know this and welcome this immoral relationship? Is that what you're saying? When are Dan and his entourage getting back from this so-called vacation?
Let's see. 5 days. So, next Saturday.
Next Saturday? Huh. Okay. Linda, I want you to come home right now.
Huh? Home? You mean home?
Your father and I will be back the day after tomorrow. We'll both be at the house. Go pack your things and be ready to escape at any time. Got that?
Mom, Really? You'll do that for me?
Of course, my dear. I'm always on your side, Linda. What are mothers for? I will do anything to help you. Don't forget that. Don't you dare keep this all to yourself. We're here to protect you.
I don't know what to say, Mom. I can't thank you and Dad enough. I should have told you sooner. I'm going to do this. I'm going back home.
Hey, Linda, where the hell are you? We just landed at the airport. Come pick us up ASAP. Hello, Linda. Pick the damn phone up, would ya? Always vanishes right when you need me. Sheesh. What use is she? All you got going for you is to clean the house and cook for us. Oh yeah, and financial support. Can't forget that. Pick up the damn phone and get your ass moving, for God's sakes.
Hello, Dan. How are you? This is Linda's mom. It's been quite some time since we last talked, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Hello? Sure has been a long time. Great to hear from you. Unusual to get a line message from you. What's up?
You just sent Linda a message, so I'm replying on her behalf.
Excuse me?
Maybe what I'm about to say will explain the situation you're in.
Have you returned stateside from your husband's assignment in Australia?
Yes, that's right. It was a long 5-year assignment, but we're finally back. Just arrived back home a few days ago.
Seriously? I thought you guys were going to get a permanent resident and just live over there.
Excuse me? Who told you that? We always planned on coming back.
I had no idea. You never returned during those 5 years, so I figured you like it there.
Well, you're partially right. The company insists that you cannot return for the first 2 years. I was looking forward to coming back the 3rd year, but... Then the pandemic happened, and we couldn't go back and forth as we expected. If that didn't happen, we would have returned at least twice a year. So, it's been 5 years of never getting the chance to return, but I'm elated to be back.
I had no clue. So, you were actually adamant about returning, huh?
Never thought I'd find out, huh? Is that why you've been treating my daughter like some personal ATM machine in your family made? I suppose Linda does make a lot more than women her own age, especially you. You figured she didn't have any close relatives. You thought we would never return from Australia. So you proposed to her and got married. That's when you started mistreating her, using her as a maid and making her work and stealing her earnings. You even stole her savings. Money she had saved all through school and before marrying you. And to think that your parents were in on it. They had full knowledge of your scheme and supported you wholeheartedly. Shall I go on?
How do you even know all this?
We have our ways.
You didn't seem like caring parents to me. I mean, you met me and my folks online. Remember that? What kind of parents do that?
As I said, global circumstances were such that we were not able to meet in person. I'm sure you understand. You said so at the time. Don't you remember?
Huh? Yeah, but...
Also about the wedding. We said we'd hold off on that until we returned and the date has not yet been set. Wasn't that what we agreed on?
Right. Wait.
I didn't realize you were so forgetful, Dan. Maybe we should have waited for the whole marriage itself at least until we had returned. Maybe we should have met face to face beforehand.
Yeah, but...
My daughter will file for divorce. She no longer wants to be your maid. I mean, wife.
Oh, wait a second. You can't do that. Hey, I'll make things right from now on, I assure you. I'll even start looking for a new job. So, please, no talk of divorce. Please? The timing is just not right. I have to make a living, you know?
There are other reasons why my daughter wants nothing more to do with you.
What are you talking about?
Paula Connors, 23 years of age,
No gainful employment.
Pardon me?
Your mistress. You went to some bar and picked her up. Had relations with her for about 6 months.
Where'd you get that information?
Wow, 6 months ago. That was right about the time we submitted the marriage certificate downtown.
What is this?
I guess it was about the time you arrived in Hawaii. I got a message online from your little sweetheart Paula. She said she had dibs on my husband. And that she had just arrived in Hawaii with you and your parents. Nice of her to let me know.
Why the hell did she?
That wasn't all. She kept sending little messages describing her escapades with you all week and even explicit photos. As a matter of fact, she was sending me 3 or 4 photos a day of the two of you lounging around the beach. There was even one of you guys in bed. I obviously didn't reply, but that sort of pissed her off for some reason. And the photos only increased, and some started to get downright raunchy.
No wonder she was going nuts with all those photo shoots. That idiot!
I would appreciate it if you would thank Paula for me. Thank her for the boatload of photos and messages. More than enough evidence for my needs. My lawyer said it was more than enough to institute legal proceedings and claim damages from both of you.
Come on, Linda. Let's talk about this.
I want the divorce, and you're going to give it to me.
But you know I'm unemployed.
That has nothing to do with me. Figure it out yourself. Goodbye, you good-for-nothing creep. After thoroughly going through all the line data, our lawyer initiated legal proceedings against both Dan and Paula. There was ample and irrefutable evidence to prove Linda's case. This Paula apparently thought that Dan was some rich guy and he would cover for her, but when she learned he was unemployed and there wasn't a penny to his name, she turned deathly pale. Obviously, her parents were not able to pay, and she ended up borrowing the money and paid it in full. I heard she ended up working as a hostess somewhere. As for Dan, he was ordered to pay all the money he used, including all of her savings. Without a job and his folks on Social Security, the only thing left for Dan and his parents to do was to sell their house and property. And if that wasn't enough, borrow from whoever would offer a loan. Last I heard, the 3 of them were living in a beat-up 1-bedroom apartment down on Market Street. I'm sure they are kicking themselves every night for messing this all up.
Are you going to be able to come tomorrow? If so, I'm really looking forward to seeing you again.
I'm still planning on coming tomorrow. I heard you had yourself a really beautiful house built, right? I'm sure that even Faye is really happy about that now, too.
Well, this is what Faye had dreamed of happening, so of course she's happy about all of it. If she wasn't smiling about the new house, then I'd really have no clue what she wants and would probably go crazy trying to figure that out.
Have you already gone and told her that I'll be coming over as well tomorrow?
I let her know once already. I said that you'd be around, even when I have my meeting. But I'll do my best to leave a lot of time open to you when you're around, so that we can all talk. We can talk more about all of that later on, as I'd really like to continue talking to you about those things from earlier.
Understood. I'll be coming by myself tomorrow, okay? But I'll make sure that next week I bring everything we talk about up with my leader and we'll discuss things.
Alright, thank you, Gianna. Although, having to be helped by someone like you is a little embarrassing for me.
What are you talking about, Gage? I'm your little sister and want to make sure everything goes well for you, just like you'd do for me if I needed the help. We siblings have to stick together in times like these, right?
Hearing something like that from you really warms my heart. But I still feel as though I should be the one responsible for my company, and now having you around helping me, I need to be more diligent in getting good results.
I'm hoping for that as well for you. But you're my older brother, so you'll be alright. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and seeing that new house. Gage is having a problem within his company and has gone to resolve the issue. So he won't be back home until after you've already showed up here, okay? That's what I'd heard from him as well. He made sure to tell me before I got into my car. I still plan on being there at the time I told you both yesterday. Is that all right with you still? I heard from him that you're going to be the one to show me around the new house while he's out at the office. But if he's going to be coming home later today, then I can wait for him, or even possibly come over another day if you'd like. What do you want to do? What are you planning to do by coming over to our house? Huh? I heard from him that you're planning on staying the night here and whatnot. But do you think you'll actually be getting anything from us just because we're both well off? Let me tell you right now, if you come into this home and start stealing from us, you're going to be in very deep water. What? Can you slow down for just a minute? Why are you starting to talk about me as though I'd be coming over to steal anything from you two? I have no reason to be stealing from you both, right? I'm just coming over to hang out and talk with the both of you as well as see the new house you both have. Well, think about it, Gianna. You're nothing more than a dirty janitor, right? Excuse me? And all janitors are both lowlifes and moneyless. And now that you've heard that your brother is a CEO, you think you can come over here and take our things? If that's what you're thinking, I'd like you to stand back and rethink your plans. Gage is my husband now, right? He doesn't have the time to take care of moneyless slobs like you anymore. Hold on a second, Faye. I think you have a bit of a misconception of me or something that's making you say all these things. Actually, I don't even know what you're trying to infer about me right now based on all that you've just told me. There we go. You can't even make up a good excuse. You know that I'm right about what I've said about your plan, and now the only thing you can say back to me is that I'm the one with a misconception and that I'm wrong. Well, to start, can you stop looking down on me for being a janitor like that? I'd like to know what's so bad about being a janitor in your eyes. It's due to janitors that the inside and outside of buildings like your husband's are so clean and well kept for everyone working in them. And for the most part, those that work for a cleaning and janitorial company are usually very proud of the work they do and want to do their best. What are you going on about? I feel bad for all you freaks that only have enough brain in you to clean the toilets of complete strangers all day long. The fact that you all are so daft that you can only make money from work like that is just depressing. Your brother ended up being the CEO of a very well-regarded company, yet somehow his little sister had to turn into a crap cleaner. That's so unfortunate for him. When I married him, I never knew he had a tragic little sister like you working a gross job like that. Tragic? That's a bit rude of you to say to me, right? Well, anyway, I'll be arriving at your house here soon, so we can talk more about all of this in person and hopefully clear all of this up. I think you have a misunderstanding of me, so I'd like for that to all go away with a quick explanation from me about who I really am and what my intentions really are. You sad sight! How does it feel to have toilet water thrown all over you like that? If this has taught you anything, then get out of my house and never come back here again. I am appalled. I heard that you were a pretty tough woman when it came to being nice, but for you to actually act out like that towards your own sister-in-law? I only came here today to celebrate my brother moving into a brand new house, but you're telling me that you threw all that toilet water on me just because I'm a janitor? What the hell were you thinking, Faye? I doubt that by asking you that I'll get an answer that I can understand, but I have to ask you at least once. Of course, a lowlife like you would never be able to understand any answer I gave you to that question. Now, to be clear, the reason for all of that was because a lowlife like you thought you could come into this beautiful house of mine. Your beautiful house? That's the house that my brother built, right? So what? Whatever he calls his is also mine, right? I know that you were having a pretty good time splashing all that water onto me and are feeling on top of the world right now, but you're going to regret all of that real soon. Why should I ever regret what I've done to you? I was just protecting my beautiful house from a beggar like you getting in here. You actually think I'd let your lowlife butt in here? I don't care that you're my sister-in-law, Gianna. I had to throw that water on you to keep you from taking any of my money and things. then I'll be halting my transfer of any more money to you guys. We don't need whatever money you think you have. And actually, what the hell do you mean you've been giving us money? Do you actually think you can do something like that for us? You are aware that my husband runs a very well-off company, right? Well, I'm sure you don't understand the whole picture right now, but I really didn't expect you to be this blind to what's all been going on around you. Huh? What are you talking about right now, Gianna? I'm going to do just as you've asked and head home. But be aware that the money I've been giving your husband to keep his company from becoming a burning mess will stop. Do you really expect me to believe that you've been giving my husband money to keep his company afloat? I'm going to let him know right now that you've gone home. And please, never come around my beautiful house ever again. I don't have time to cater to scum like you. Understood. I wish you good luck after this. What do you want with me now? Things have changed. Do you think you can start heading back to my house? No. Why the hell would I come back there? What makes you think asking me a stupid question like that after what you've done would be such a good idea, And what do you mean things have changed for you? Before, I didn't believe a word you'd said about the current state of things regarding you and my husband. But when I told him that you'd gone home already, he was furious. He kept saying I really screwed him over big time. He's on his way home right now in a panic, and I want to know what I should do about him. Why are you asking me what you should do right now about him? Why the hell is Gage freaking out so much right now? To tell you the truth, I am the owner of a cleaning services company, and for a while now I've been working with my brother to support his company with funding. I'm assuming that he's really worried about all of that right now. Huh? You're the CEO of a cleaning services company? I sure am. I see that you had been confusing me for just being a simple janitor this whole time, but I'm not the one cleaning and doing all that work. Rather, I'm the one running the company that employs people to do that work. And as for my brother's company, it's been on the brink of collapsing for a bit now, and I'd been planning on helping keep him afloat. And as for me coming over today, the reason was for me to talk with him about what to do next regarding the money I'd been handing him and his company. Of course, I was also coming over to celebrate you both moving into that new house, but the main reason was to talk business. No, there's no way that should be true. You're supposed to be some low-level janitor, Gianna. Your brother even told me that you work for a cleaning services company. And that's not wrong. The only difference is that I don't just work for the company, but run it as well as the company's CEO. How many more times do I have to repeat that to you for you to understand me? I get that a long time ago I had been working as a janitor and all, but that was just to learn about the field I'm working in and to understand how to run a company like this one. Is that so? I never heard a thing about any of that. So you're telling me that all of this was just a misunderstanding between us? No matter how you try and think about it, you did misunderstand me. But you having had little idea about who I actually am has nothing to do with me now. Because as of now, I can see that you're totally okay with throwing toilet water all over me because you thought I was a janitor. Well, that was just because I had a misconception of you, a simple misunderstanding. Normally, I'd never actually do anything as rude as that to anyone. You could even call that a joke of sorts. I just assumed you were coming to steal things from us, and that since you were supposedly a janitor, the whole splashing toilet water over you would be a good form of defense. I think a person like you won't have much more of a future anymore where you're still married to my brother now. Huh? What does that mean? I'm saying that after this, I don't think you and him are going to have a successful future together. I doubt he's the kind of guy to allow a witch like you to be by his side. Actually, I know a guy like him won't allow that. I don't really get what you're talking about, but I'm saying that now that my brother and I have a good idea of the person you truly are, we're no longer going to want to have anything to do with you. And really, I don't even have the will to help him with his company any longer, so I'll make sure to let him know that here. Hold on a sec, Gianna. You're joking about actually telling him what happened between us, right? He's already furious with me about sending you home, but if you go telling him about the reason for that, he'll explode and take me down with him. And none of that is anything I'm worried about at the moment. Gianna, let's take a moment to let the air cool between us and talk this over again, okay? How about we both just forget about everything that happened earlier? I'm calm right now, Faye. And the air has remained a very comfortable temperature for me so far. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to forget what you just did to me. You literally threw a bucket of toilet water in my face when I walked through the door and started laughing at me when you saw my face. Only those with the most twisted of souls would ever do that to another person over them having a job as a janitor. You really want me to forget that? Think about it. There's really no way to forget any of that. I told you that you're wrong about that. Please, listen to what I've been trying to tell you. I really had no clue that you were such an amazing person before I did all of that to you. I just had the idea that you were some failure that's had to live life working as a scummy janitor was all. What I did to you back then was all due to the thought that you were nothing more than a lowlife. Oh God. You think that I'm going to follow your reasoning for all of that? What you're telling me is that you really do hate those that you deem to be lowlives, including janitors. Huh? That's not what I meant by that. Well, with that kind of thinking, you've basically just told me that you hate everyone that works for me in my company, and that they're all scum and have no money. You wouldn't want me telling all of them that now, would you? I'm really confused right now. What the hell are you thinking, talking about people that you know nothing about like that? I'm sorry. I didn't think that you and my brother would be getting this upset with me over what I said. It's just, when most people think of a janitor, they think of someone working a pretty low-level job and someone that's never graduated from college. I'm sorry that my thoughts got to me so easily. But now I can see you're not some low-life scum, but a very successful CEO. So you don't have to worry because I'd never look down on someone that runs their own company and has a lot of money from it. So can you calm down now? I'm your friend, after all. You must not understand the definition of friend, then. Because to me, and anyone else looking at this situation, you're anything but a friend to me. And at this point, I've already let my brother know about everything from today. Huh? What do you mean by everything from today? Well, I started by telling him about how you threw a bucket of toilet water on me, and then about how I will no longer be helping him by funding his company. I also made sure he knew that as long as you're with him, I'd never come around him again. And that he would no longer be getting any kind of help from me ever again. Why would you tell him things like that? You're making me look like the bad guy for some reason. I'm not sure why you ended up the way you are, but after what you've done to me today, I think it's totally acceptable of me to label you as a bad guy of sorts. I told you I understand, though, and I'm apologizing to you now, right? Why are you being so heartless towards me after all the effort I've put into apologizing to you? Are you telling me that you don't want to make up with me after that? What do you mean by us making up? And do you think after all you've done to me, a simple apology is going to get me to forgive you? We're not kids anymore, Faye. You even ended up saying terrible things about the employees working for me, so I'm definitely not forgiving you for that, as I'm sure none of them would. Now, if you want to discuss what's going on right now some more, you can wait for Gage to get home and talk with him. I have nothing left to say to you now, so that's that. Wait a second, though. Gianna, this is all really messed up, right? If you leave things the way they are, I am 99% sure that Gage is going to kick me out of this house. And I'd have to say that that'd be the correct choice when it comes to handling you. Are you kidding me? Why would you say something like that now? Was what I did really that bad? I think you're going a little overboard by saying all of that crap about me. Come on and do something about this, Gianna. Right now, our marriage is on the line, and you're the only one that can do anything to save it. Don't you want to help your brother stay happy? The only reason for your marriage being in danger is due to you being a terrible person, Faye. Now figure something out and try your best to avoid losing your husband. You already told me that I'm not allowed around your house since I'm a lowlife. But if you're thrown out by my brother, that must be because you're more of a lowlife than even me. That would only be fair though, right? Since you made that rule up. Are you really going to say things like that? I apologized for cleaning your face off with that toilet water already, right? I promise I won't say anything bad about you anymore regarding your job, okay? So please, just frickin' forgive me! No thanks. But hey, this all matches exactly with what you said about me. I'm a lowlife, and letting your marriage fall apart is definitely something a lowlife would allow to happen. At least I'm not the one that'll be going through hell here soon, so have fun, you witch. In the end, Gage made his way back home with his face beet red, telling Faye to get out of his house without even giving her a chance to retort. Once he had her outside, he then went and locked all the doors and proceeded to grab all her things and toss them out the window for her to take. Then the following day, he began the process of divorcing her. Faye hasn't had a job of her own for a very long time, and so her pockets were empty leaving that house, and has since been on the streets trying to figure out what to do next. But this is all well-deserved after all the horrible things Faye said and did to Gage's little sister Gianna. Luckily for Gage, after he had gotten rid of and divorced Faye, Gianna came back to him and said that she'd continue to help fund his company. I'm sure she never wanted to threaten him with ending the flow of money to his company, but it was the only way to get him to throw Faye away, which needed to be done after what she'd done to Gianna. Anyway, Faye is going to be on the streets for a long time now following these unfortunate events. But hopefully, while she's going through hard times, she begins to learn the importance of everyone, even those that she considers low lives, like herself.